the spiritual community don't talk about this enough when it comes to spiritual psychosis. Spiritual psychosis is going to come before spiritually awakening. And most people, from what I've went through, when you experience spiritual psychosis, it normally starts at a rough time in your life. You could have lost somebody, a child, a job, a relationship, things that you have been in for long periods of time. So basically, that's like a shock to your identity. So when you lose someone close, it plunges you into spiritual psychosis. And for me, I believe what that is, it's when you receive the shock to your system and you no longer know how to move forward. It becomes really difficult to move forward in your life, right? You start to isolate yourself. You stop wanting to do damn near everything that you used to do because now you don't know who you are. So you're searching. And in order to search and find who you want to be, because your old identity is gone, starting to truly see clearly now that I want to reintegrate back into the world, back into love, back into life in general. See, some of us, we are so traumatized on this journey of spiritually awakening that we have to shut everything and everybody out. Thank you for that love in. Excuse me. We have to shut out everything and everybody. At least that's what I had to do. Okay? And if you stay stuck in that place, it will be hard to reintegrate. Some of us go to the extreme. We don't celebrate birthdays anymore. We don't celebrate holidays anymore. We don't really participate in nothing. And then we begin to build this wall, this really thick wall, because now we're in a judgment zone. Now we've created a life filled with judgment, right? I have this wall. You can't be in my life now because I've changed, I've grown, I've outgrew all of this. What it is that we become sick of our own self. We're tired of our own self. So now we create this new reality where I'm the best thing walking. We start to experience the chosen one complex. A lot of us, we be like, I'm chosen, I'm here for a big job. We're not babies, okay? But we got to go through these different phases in order to reawaken to most of those things that we created. It was just still from a place of fear and a place of trying to find a new identity. So what I realized with myself, I'm seeing the world again and I'm like, oh, I want to be a part of it again. I'm like, what did I do? Now it's like looking back, you're like, what did I do? I didn't shut out everything. I didn't shut out everybody. And it's like, what the hell is this now that I've created? Right? So it's like we go through these moments where now you realize, okay, wait a minute. I was just going through something, because spiritual awakening, all that is you going through a traumatic time in your life. Most people, if you ask them, when did you start spiritually awakening? It's going to be after a breakup, a relationship ended, a divorce. It's going to be after maybe a bad accident. It's going to be after losing a job you've been there for damn near 20, 25 years. It's always going to be something traumatic for you to awaken. And then it's just we're awakening to our own awareness, right? Okay. And that's all. We're basically traumatized. We lost an identity. So now we go through spiritual psychosis, and that's a real thing. It's a real thing. Now you're in between this time, you're going to find your new self, who you want to be now. But for most people, some people can easily transition into a new version of their self. They wake up one day and be like, you know what? I'm tired of this job. Let me find another one. I've been here for 33 years. I'm over it. I'm done. And they're in a good space. They realize I'm done. Some people lose a job. They've been there 30, 40 years. They immediately go and get another one and life goes on. They are not affected. Those are the ones that I refer to as they've already mastered their emotions. They've already mastered their nervous system. So the ones that I believe that spiritually awakening, those are the ones that haven't mastered their emotions. Those are the ones that don't know how to handle, that don't know how to really handle when trauma comes, and or let's say chaos. See, because we all experience chaos differently in our world. We're going to experience, it's a part of life. That's the balance of life. Life gives you some good times, and then life says, okay, we need balance. Let me send you in some chaos. You got to get your chaos. And that's why it says the rise and fall of life. We're going to consistently rise and fall. But the goal is to master your emotions enough that when these chaotic times come, you're able to say, okay, woosah. Okay, how am I going to handle this? Am I going to shut the entire world out again? Am I going to run away from everybody again because I can't handle life and, family at the same time? So that's what it seems like is happening. That's what I got out of this awakening. It's like some of us just can't. It's too much. It's like, oh my God, this is too fucking much. For me, that's exactly how it was. Life got too much for me. I couldn't handle everything. I couldn't handle everybody. I couldn't handle what was thrown at me. So I isolated myself. I shut it down. That's all spiritual awakening is. It's you trying to regulate your nervous system so that you can handle the trials and tribulations of life. And this is why a certain point on the journey, people begin to see people that disappear. You'll be like, where did so-and-so go? They were such a great teacher. They provided so much wisdom. They were doing that because they were awakening, right? And so when you awaken, you create a powerful persona of yourself. That's all we're doing. We say, okay, you know what? This is who I am now. Let me give the world what I learned. And then you got to go and awaken more so we could get to the next level, right? Because there's levels to this. We keep going up the levels until we reach self-mastery. And a lot of times we don't reach self-mastery in, one life. You have to do multiple lives in order to reach self-mastery. That's why there's layers. And these are some of the things I've been thinking about lately, because I realized for myself that I'm pretty much, now I want to come back. I want to engage again. I want to see who I really want to be. So it's like when you pass your traumatic stage within this journey, right? When you no longer believe that you're the chosen one coming to save the world, because see, that's part of the trauma. For those of us that still walk around like that, we still in our traumatic experience. That's all that is. Because then the day will come when you'll say to yourself, wait a minute, I'm not here to save the world. I'm here to create something. And what I create, let it be positive. Let it be eye-opening for the next people. It's basically like you leave breadcrumbs. You have some people, they create nonprofit organizations, right? So they've grown from the awakening, okay? So they begin to do the classes or whatever other things that they're doing, right? That's going to the next level. But the hardest level, you guys, is when you're in the spiritual psychosis stage, okay? In the spiritual psychosis stage, there is no vibrate high. You got to go through all of these different things in order to get to that place. To vibrate high means nothing more than to regulate your nervous system, getting yourself to the place where you're like this, an observer. Okay, wow. Okay. All right, I'll keep you in my thoughts, my prayers, or something like that. I don't, and then you grow that compassion, right? And then you tap into you. It's really all about finding you. What is it called? Finding Nemo. Remember Finding Nemo? It's like that's what our life is about. Finding Jamie, finding Keisha, finding Leisha. You're finding yourself. That's all we're here to do. Not near one of us is no chosen one that came here to to save the world. No, that's trauma. And that's also the ego still trying to hold on to something, that control, or that I'm here to save everybody. That's still trauma. It's all about healing the nervous system. And in order to do that, you definitely have to go through all of these different things. And then one day, eventually, you wake up and you stop running and you face life head on. This is the stage that I'm approaching now. I'm approaching this stage now. It's like we really all are here walking through this journey. It's really about you going through your walk, not running from it, but it's to face it. We gotta face it. After I lost my daughter in 22, right? I remember immediately I started coming on this app and I started talking to the people. I realized recently I never took the time to properly grieve about my daughter. That's why a lot of times when I would come on here and try to talk about what happened with her to you guys, I would still cry. I would still, because things were still coming up out of me that I didn't know that was still in me. So now we have grief that we're walking around with. Grief also stops you from reaching the next level. So it's a lot. It's nothing easy if people are still in the spiritual psychosis stage. That stage can be very intense, for some, and for some not so intense. For me, it was very intense. It lasted for years. Part of my isolation was because I didn't trust nobody. I didn't want to be around nobody, right? So, because my nervous system was nervous. It was nervous. It wasn't regulated in any way, shape, or form. So that's also part of spiritual psychosis. You will probably shut everybody out, stay isolated until you find a way. You'll find a class, a teacher, somebody that you can work with, because you got to really work through these different stages. It's that real.